Hello, guys, and thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. I am your residential anchor, Aaron Webeking. Let's get right into talking about the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to talk some about the Notre Dame game. Indiana Hoosiers football did not play this week. I wore my IU stuff all around because at least they're not going to get beat this week. But Notre Dame, a lot of things I have to say about that game and the coaching in that game. And then the Indianapolis Colts, a bittersweet Monday victory for the Indianapolis Colts because we just found out this morning that Anthony Richardson has a grade 3 AC joint sprain, which that is the worst type that you can have. There's grade 1, 2, and 3. And I just watched this video of this doctor. So, you have 2 or 3 different spots in your shoulder where the tendons connect your clavicle. Hopefully, I saw Zach Hicks just put out this that hopefully Anthony Richardson, the football gods, look down on the Colts and Anthony Richardson does not need surgery. That would be the best case scenario. And it's saying that he will be out a month or more. So this is just kind of a wait and see injury. Anthony Richardson, I've seen everything in chat forums and things from people saying like he's a bust now. He's not a bust yet. But I would say coming into this game, my level of just concern over like him being injured all the time was at like a 4. Now it's at like a 7 or an 8. If he recovers from this and has like one more injury, like a long-term injury like this, you would start to say this guy can't stay on the field, and can the Colts rely on a player like this to be their franchise quarterback going forward? All that and more, talking about Anthony Richardson on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection. First, let's thank our sponsor, Reynolds Wrap. Reynolds Wrap, everybody has this stuff, but you got to make sure you have it on hand during all of these football games. If you want to make cleanup a cinch, select Reynolds Wrap, an American company, great American aluminum foil. When you're transferring stuff from the freezer to the oven to the grill and back and forth and everywhere in between, use Reynolds Wrap. Use it as a lid, cover all your pans with it, and make cleanup a cinch and get right back to watching the Colts game because you can just wad that stuff up and throw it right in the trash can. Love Reynolds Wrap. Thank you to them for sponsoring the video. Reynolds Wrap, a great American company. So we're talking about Anthony Richardson in this game and just what he has to do going forward. Some of this, it feels like it's just bad luck. Some of it feels like it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just he takes off and runs. He gets driven his shoulder into the ground, and that's it for him. And he's never said in some of these press conferences he's had with certain reporters, I've seen him say, this is how I play. I'm not going to play any different. Trevor Lawrence said to him in the first game, hey, this is the NFL. You better protect yourself out there on the field. He's a guy who's super positive all the time. He's always like dancing around to music and stuff like that and all this stuff. And he's got a really lighthearted attitude when it comes to playing the game and everything like that. I think he's got to really reel that back. You can be that way, but if you're that way and then you're getting injured all the time and you're not able to be out there on the field with the other players, at a certain point, people are going to start to think like, yeah, his demeanor is as if he doesn't care because he's so lighthearted and everything. That could be true. It could not be true. These are just my points about the whole thing. I just see a guy who, at this point, I think he is 70% on his way towards being a bust for the Indianapolis Colts. And that's because if he has just like a couple more injuries, the thing is like Indianapolis fans are not going to have a good feeling about this if he just keeps getting injured over and over again. We already had the Andrew Luck situation come and play out, but more than that, we watched a player play who played quarterback from the pocket, Peyton Manning, that never got injured until he just finally had the ultimate neck injury. But this guy played for over 10 years and never missed a game and never missed a snap for the team. You can't think like there's a correlation. I mean, it's like when you run the football, your guys are going to get banged up. And how do you navigate that? It's too hard to navigate. I see why Baltimore didn't want to really pay Lamar Jackson, because this guy's injured all the time too. They hitch their wagon to him for a longer period of time, and in the next 5 years, Lamar Jackson is not going to be anywhere near the player that he was in the 5 years prior. Now, Anthony Richardson, he's at like the phase he's in of his life right now is the one that he really should not be getting injured in these games at all, because it's not going to get any easier for him going forward. He's young. He's not really had many big-time injuries. I did read where he did have a knee injury in high school. He's played literally not a lot of college football at all either. And then you put him out there on the NFL field. I think this is the one thing that we just really didn't see when we drafted this guy. And he has all this potential and all this other stuff. But if he's not out there on the field, he's not going to help the Colts win. And it's going to be a big problem. Because all I was thinking during the game yesterday is, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with quarterback going forward? If this guy's out for the season, now they're saying he's just out for a month. But how long is he going to be able to stay on the field after that? That's going to be a big, and he fell on his right shoulder. Is this going to affect he's already not super accurate when he's throwing passes down the field further. Is this going to affect him? Because I think, what I always remember is like Andrew Luck had a similar thing where he had a shoulder injury. Management kind of like, is he going to get back on the field without surgery? Is he going to require that surgery? This is where you start getting into, this is the NFL, and you start making these decisions for yourself. It's like, is he going to push to get back out on the field, or is he going to wait a long period of time, get completely healthy after 6 weeks, get back out on the field, and then get injured again? Then where are we going to be at? Then I would think if he got injured one more time, that he only has one more time after that. So like after this AC joint injury, I view it as like he's going to have one more opportunity. If he gets injured one more time and has like a long rehab, he'd have one more opportunity after that to play for the Colts. But it might not take that long. If the Colts, I'm just thinking about all of these quarterbacks that are in college right now. Now might be one of the times when there are more great quarterbacks playing in college than there ever has been. And those guys are going to flood into the NFL. And there are not many guys out there that wouldn't take like a Drake May from North Carolina or even like a Nix for that used to play at Auburn. He's at Oregon now. There are just so many great players in college right now, and they're learning the game faster and faster. You're seeing more and more of these college guys, really good, effective players in the NFL right away. And will the Colts be in that situation? I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with talking about all of this stuff, but I just see that it's more and more the writing is on the wall. Anthony Richardson, can he be a long-term option for the Colts? This injury with him, it's really bothering me. And you know what? We watched Peyton Manning play for a long time and just he never missed a game. And that is what stability in the building, that's what it really looks like. is like he was the general. He was the guy making all the calls, and he made sure he was out there with his teammates for every game. And he wasn't going to put himself in a position to get himself injured in games where he couldn't be out there and really help the team. And that's pure leadership right there. I mean, Peyton Manning, never another one like it. But Anthony Richardson, I wish him all the best, and hopefully he can recover from this in the next 4 to 6 weeks and come back totally healthy and not get injured again and put our minds at ease, like play out the rest of the season and not get injured. Let's just hope for that. Let's now talk a little bit about the stinker that Notre Dame put out on the field there on Saturday night. I watched this game with my father-in-law. They live in South Bend. A lot of my family does live over in South Bend, and they're all big-time Notre Dame fans. And I am as well. I mean, I've always root for IU in football, but Notre Dame, like most IU fans, I've always rooted for Notre Dame as like my second team, really, because IU is always so terrible at football, especially this year. But Louisville came out with a game plan, just ready to play against Notre Dame, and just took it to them the entire game. They ran the ball down Notre Dame's throat. They came out running some option plays that kind of caught Notre Dame off guard. They were able to run the ball off tackle so easily. They sealed the edge on Notre Dame, ran the ball on them really effectively. You got to hand it to Louisville. They took it to Notre Dame, had a really great game plan. I don't like Notre Dame's coach. I just don't think he's going to be there for very long. He looks so confused over there on the sideline most of the time, and it's like, and they as a team, it's like they don't really have a strong identity. Louisville came out really blitzing Sam Hartman nonstop. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He really kind of got like squeezed in the pocket many times and was not able to throw the ball down the field. And Notre Dame, just in some of their play calls and things like that, they just were really just looked like all out of sorts. Louisville had their number the entire time. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit on this episode because I feel bad for Notre Dame, and I wanted to see them at least get, maybe have a chance at the college football playoff even after losing to Ohio State. But it's been a rough few weeks for Notre Dame. I think Ohio State is way overrated. I think that Duke team was a little bit overrated. And then playing Louisville, I think Louisville is underrated. I think they came out with first time with a top 25 ranking in a while and playing against the Notre Dame team. They came out and played with their hair on fire. And that's what you got to do in a game like that. And Notre Dame just wasn't ready for it. Louisville came out blitzing and getting after the quarterback, and Notre Dame just really seemed out of sorts, like they could never really recover from the type of intensity that Louisville was laying the wood down on them. No pun intended, Louisville Slugger in Louisville, Kentucky. But so, I mean, you really got to hand it to Louisville. Great game for them. Great game for them to be in the national spotlight playing Notre Dame. And you got to know, Notre Dame, the thing about Notre Dame, watching them, they get everybody's best effort. Notre Dame is on national TV nearly every game they play. And when they play these teams like a Louisville, and this team gets to be in the national spotlight, their stadium sold out. They're coming balls to the wall against Notre Dame in that game. And Notre Dame just couldn't figure it out. I'd like to see them finish out the season well and at least get a really good bowl game. And actually, we were talking about this. I would love to see LSU play Notre Dame in a bowl game. That would be an ultimate. LSU squeaked out a win this weekend. But if Brian Kelly could play Notre Dame in a bowl game, that would make for some really great TV. And to see Brian Kelly come play Notre Dame, he went there to win a national championship. Well, he's not winning one yet. So, I mean, he was ranked. They were supposed to be a really highly ranked team this year, LSU. And Brian Kelly just not getting it done down there so far. I do think he is a really great coach, but he pissed off a lot of people when he left South Bend and just some of the things that he said. But that's what I'm rooting for in that situation there. But so let's just go through. I did not point out some of the Colts stats, but let's look at some of the stats. One of the key stats, and this is one I always look at, is time of possession. This is the first time all year the Colts won the time of possession. And the other thing I want to talk about in the Colts game, Zach Moss played balls to the wall. They signed Jonathan Taylor to that big contract extension. Zach Moss comes out and plays like his hair's on fire. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. You're giving this guy all this money. I did all this running for you in these first 3 games. So Colts fans, in the hearts of Colts fans, Zach Moss has won the hearts of Colts fans because of his gritty tenacity out there on the field. Zach Moss, you are the player of the week, my friend. Keep it up. Jonathan Taylor and this guy together could be a really dynamic bunch because Zach Moss, he is a gritty, just determined runner. Even when he gets stopped behind the line of scrimmage, you see this guy just really grinding himself forward to get even like 2 or 3 yards. I love to see guys do that type of thing. Zach Moss, really player of the week. Zach Moss, that long run early in the game, that was so clutch. That was like nobody even got a hand on him. This guy, and I didn't know he could have speed like that, but nobody on Tennessee was catching him once he got his ass out there in the open field. Zach Moss, way to go, buddy. And also, way to go to Jim Irsay giving Jonathan Taylor the big contract. Look, everybody knew this is how this is going to play out with Jonathan Taylor. He had no other option. That's the only thing there is to it. There was no other option. But the big news today, AC joint sprain, grade 3 AC joint sprain. So hopefully Anthony Richardson doesn't need surgery. I'm really hoping that he doesn't need surgery and he can make his way back into the Colts in about a month. So he'd be back in about mid-November maybe is what you'd be looking at. So, but big win for the Colts. We'll talk more about the Colts tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Indiana Sports Connection, your fans' perspective of all things Indiana sports. And subscribe to the channel. If you like these videos, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. I read tons of articles and watch videos about the Colts and read tons of stuff. So my main purpose of making this channel is to collaborate all that stuff together into some short videos like that I make about 4 or 5 times a week. So thank you so much for joining me on Indiana Sports Connection. My name is Aaron Webeking. Thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll get as much of the Colts news out to you as quickly as possible. And until next time, stay classy out there, Colts fans.